welcome to BOMISpirit. This is going to be the weekly intuitive astrology reading for July 18th to the 24th. So for those of you who are new, don't forget to like, subscribe, share, and comment. And if you have already, then I appreciate it. We do have some algorithm problems, so if you are looking for more content, please check the homepage and also check your email, because apparently that's where only some people get notified. Just have to say that because people get confused and they're like, you don't post anything, but I do. Anyway, so that's out of the way. For the way that this works, just for those who are new and who aren't really sure, I go over the astrology of the week and I give you my 2 cents on it. You don't have to take it as truth. It's just my observation. I love astrology. I love to study it. And I love to tell you guys what I am picking up collectively as well, because I'm also a channeler. I'm also an intuitive, and I'm also a seer. So I also get some channel messages as I'm doing my astrology notes. And so it's kind of fun to go over that with you guys. Now, last week, I tried a new format, and it was totally out of the blue. It was just something that I was feeling in the moment, and that's just how I function. And instead of doing like a very long collective reading, I actually went sign by sign for like your rising sign according to your houses. So it was more like way more in the astrology realm of things. A lot of people loved it. Some people really missed the old way. So here's how we're going to do it. I'm going to talk about the astrology, and I'm going to very quickly explain how to look at your chart for that, not sign by sign. I'm going to do the collective reading, and if there's time and I have the energy, then I'll go by rising sign. So I'm going to try my best to do both. We'll see. I don't know, that might be a lot. Because even without doing the sign by sign, the reading sometimes can be very long. So we'll see how it goes. It'd be fun if I can make it happen, but we'll see. Okay. So this week, I'm very excited about this week. It has me feeling a little happy. It has me feeling a little excited. We have a lot of Jupiter energy this week, more towards the end. But we have a lot of Jupiter energy, and that is never a bad thing. Like, Jupiter is one of the only planet, when it's in a square, still is not a bad thing. When it's in opposition, still not a bad thing. Jupiter is very positive in its nature, so no matter what aspect it's in, it still has that potential to be positive and uplifting and expanding. Of course, it could turn on you and expand things in a really negative way, but it's all how you look at it, is how I kind of look at it, is how I view that. But the beginning of the week, there is some interesting challenges that do relate to what the full moon in Capricorn was highlighting for all of us collectively and individually, okay? So I'm just going to go through it. The aspects that we have for the entire week, that we're going to feel the entire week, we have the sun in Cancer, which also moves to Leo this week. So happy birthday, Cancers and my Leos. I'll probably do the Cancer birthday reading soon. When it feels right is when I'm going to do it. We also have Ceres. Ceres is also at play here, and actually it's kind of following the sun. It's also going from Cancer to Leo, and also relatively the same degree ranges. Excuse me. Now the sun and Ceres are both opposing Pluto in Capricorn, which is retrograding. And since they're kind of following each other, there's this interesting dance between the three that's happening. In the beginning of the week, Mercury's supporting this too, because Mercury's at the tail end of Cancer and does move into Leo this week as well. So we have like a lot of shifting into Leo energy, a lot of shifting into Leo season, but this opposition to Pluto from Ceres and the sun, really, really significant. And this is where we're going to have some challenging energy come up. Now, when I say challenging, it doesn't have to be hard, right? It doesn't have to be a struggle. It doesn't have to like make us miserable. It's just like, oh, look at that. Look at what's happening in my life. Look at what's happening in front of me. It doesn't mean you can't handle it just because I say that it could be challenging for some of us. And it's going to be challenging in different ways for some of us, depending on what's going on in our lives. When you have the sun and Pluto in opposition, Pluto in opposition to anything tends to create, it's interesting because it has almost like a Uranian quality when Pluto's in opposition. Pluto likes to reveal dirt. It loves to reveal secrets. It loves to reveal the root of things, the underbelly of things, the shadow of things, the corruption of things, the things that people don't want to look at, the things that people don't want to see. So when it's in opposition, especially with something like the sun or the moon that tends to kind of highlight truth, it kind of shakes it up. It brings it to the surface. So that might look like a disruption in your life. That might look like a random event or an unexpected change. It might even come through as like violent, aggressive, chaotic behavior by other people. That's kind of the nature of it that we're experiencing the beginning of the week. This isn't a bad thing. It's actually a really positive thing. So while there might be some unexpected events, disruptions, changes, a little bit of chaotic or even violent energy or behavior, no matter what it's doing, it's actually allowing you to see what changes are actually really needed, okay? For your own personal growth, for your own personal stability, especially when it comes to the realm of Cancer and Capricorn, right? Because those are the two signs that are opposing. So when it comes to family, when it comes to home, when it comes to your work, when it comes to your legacy, when it comes to how your life is structured, right? How your life is structured, material practical matters versus matters of the heart and what matters to you on a soul level and how you balance those things, big things, right? When we're talking about that stuff, Cancer, Capricorn, they're big things in our individual lives, not just collectively. So that might happen. It also could be the case too where you've already been recognizing you've been needing some change. This is most likely, again, in the realm of Capricorn and Cancer, and most likely has been something that you've actually been struggling with a lot for the last, really the last like couple months. But in hindsight, once you're like on the other side of it and you can reflect back, really the last few years. And for those where you're like a Cappy stellium, Cancer stellium, or Capricorn North Node, Cancer North Node, Moon rising, etc., like strong, very important, significant placements, even Chiron especially. Big changes as far as your own patterns in life. Okay, patterns. Thank you. They're talking to me. When I'm talking like that, I'm talking to my spirit team because they're giving me information. Patterns. When I said that word, they nudged me. Patterns will be very significant here. So breaking bad habits. Especially when it comes to addictions, because that's also Pluto. It's also Capricorn and Cancer, the shadowy version of it, right? Different forms of addiction. But anyway, addictions, codependencies, vices, things that we cling to for a sense of control and a sense of security and a false sense of power. Whatever that is for you. That could be people, that could be work, you could be a workaholic, that could be smoking, that could be drinking, that could be sex, that could be video games, whatever. It could be so many different things, right? I wouldn't be shocked if a lot of us experience very, what's the word? I'm gonna say insightful, because I actually wanted to use the word explosive, and I'm like, oh, that feels a little harsh, and I kind of wanted to back off of that. So my colorful conversations and communications with people you have intimate relationships with, like family or people that you work with. I mean, let's be real, when it comes to people we work with, that has to come with a sense of intimacy, because you usually either spend a lot of time with them, or you have to really learn and understand them to be able to even work with them in the first place, right? Kind of has like a family-like component, right, to it. But anyway, very colorful conversations and communications with people you're close to, intimate with, live with, or are actually related to, actually just heard share kids with. So co-parenting might be a big thing here for some of you. These colorful conversations will lead to revelation, so let it happen. Might be explosive, might be unpleasant, and it might cause you to make some changes that seem quick, maybe even seem drastic, but they're important changes. They're important changes, and for some of us, it's to break patterns. So I think that's really brilliant. This is really strong in the beginning of the week. Like we're talking the 18th and the 19th is when these two aspects are really peaking. So something to keep in mind. But the rest of the week, it's kind of going up. It's going uphill for the rest of the week, which I was like really happy to see that. Another aspect we have is Pallas Athena is in Gemini and is sextile Jupiter in Aries at 8 degrees. That's not the only aspect we have with Jupiter that will be impacting us for the week. The latter half of the week, like midweek and on, words, we have Mercury trine Jupiter, we have Venus square Jupiter, also playing a role here. Yeah, Pallas Athena is still working with Jupiter. Yeah, so we have two more aspects happening with Jupiter, Mercury and Venus. Venus in this position, even though it's a square, still positive. Mercury trine Jupiter, really positive. Mercury trine Jupiter is actually very similar to Pallas Athena sextile Jupiter. The sextile with Pallas Athena, this is again happening all week, but it's actually strongest on the 22nd. So you can write all these dates down if you want to. It's energy, it flows. You don't got to think of like this is the only day, but you know, just giving information. Pallas Athena sextile Jupiter is going to give us opportunities to resolve issues. So if we have some disruption, some towers, some colorful conversations, or we actually take initiative and decide, you know what, tired of feeling this way, tired of living this way, tired of this relationship, tired of this job, whatever it is, most likely relating to a pattern that allows you to feel like you're in control. So usually a coping mechanism or addiction, just saying. You decide it's time for a change, and you can make that change happen. Come the latter half of the week, it's going to be really easy to see how to implement this. It's going to be really easy to have conflict resolution, to make plans for the long term, to kind of see the bigger picture of things. Now, if you have a very complicated problem on your hands, an enigma of sorts, then maybe there's a lot of layers to it. Maybe, you know, there's something going on with the family business, and you have the whole family drama component, you have the whole financial component, not to mention how it just impacts you and then, you know, your life all around that. It can be complicated, but it doesn't mean it's not resolvable. And this is the week to allow Jupiter to expand your mind through Mercury, and also through Pallas Athena to help you find a way to balance the situation and to find resolution. Pallas Athena, for those of you guys who don't know, it's very Libran. It's very Libran. It looks to moderate. It looks to moderate. It looks for wisdom. It looks for justice. It also is associated with like art and beauty. So it's very, very, very Venusian. Libran. Technically Venusian too, but Libran is what I meant to say. So we have problem solving with Pallas Athena and Jupiter. Same thing goes for Mercury and Jupiter. That's kind of the, like I said, it's kind of the same energy. It's still expanding the mind. It's expanding the possibilities. It's also helping with communication as well, negotiating, resolution, conflict resolution. Now with Venus square Jupiter is actually strongest next week, around the 25th. This is a fun energy. This is a let's go out, let's have a good time, let's enjoy ourselves, let's play, let's meet people, let's flirt. And it's also at a lot of fire. So we have Jupiter in Aries, we have Mercury in Leo, and we're also moving into Leo season. We got a lot of fire backing us towards the end of the week as we usher into Leo season. So have fun with that. Have fun with that. Like, fun is a really important part of life, and that's something that the collective has also been, I want to say, relearning. That it's important. It's important for sustainability. It's important to have a balanced way of living. But anyway, so have your fun with Venus and Jupiter. Just be careful of excess. It is Venus. It is Jupiter. Both are about expanding or feeling good, or even being optimistic, but really like feeling good. Right? Rewards. That's kind of the energy of Venus and Jupiter in some fashion. There's so much more to Venus and Jupiter, but another video. But in a square, you can go to excess very quickly when it comes to spending your money, when it comes to sex, whatever indulgences you have, affairs. Like, really be mindful if you, like, in the dating world, just be mindful. If you meet someone and you're thinking they're the one, this is probably more of a week for affairs and flings and flirting. Doesn't mean you won't meet your one. Just saying this is most likely the energy that's at play here, okay? But still, with Venus square Jupiter, it starts to get more difficult to be more serious. So get all your serious stuff done in the beginning of the week, or put it off for a while if you can, because this is fun energy coming in, okay? Okay. I guess that's all I wanted to say about this week. Now, looking at how this can affect your chart personally, for those who don't know how to do this, you look at your rising sign. So you just pull up your chart. I use astro.com, which I think is the same as Astro Dentist. I don't know if I'm ever pronouncing that right. If you're really new and you're a beginner, you can use Cafe Astrology. A lot of people feel like Cafe Astrology gives wrong information. I compare it with Astro all the time because I like to have multiple sources, and they're always coinciding. Anyway, just my 2 cents. If your experience is different, your experience is different. Now, look at your rising sign. That should be your first house, and then you'll see like 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And they'll have also degree ranges for each sign. There's a sign in each house, and there's a degree range for that house as well. Like, for example, like my first house is like Cancer 1 degree to like, I don't know, Cancer 26, something like that. So my second house starts at like 26 degrees Cancer. Just an example. Now, I would definitely look first to 25 to 29 degrees Cancer and Capricorn. This is where we're going to have those disruptions, those unexpected events that really challenge us to look and to see the changes that are really needed and are going to be really helpful for us. These changes, by the way, especially if it like is thrust upon you and you're not just making your own change, like instigating your own change, it might challenge your need for control. But that's to show you have a need for control. And it's like, well, why do I feel like I need to have control? And then you face the root of that issue. Okay, Pluto, the root. Oh, you know what? One more thing I wanted to say. The other thing that might happen with some of these changes might also challenge your feelings of security and control around resources, money, food, water, shelter, those kinds of things, because Ceres rules resources and food and agriculture. She's actually very much associated with like Demeter and like Earth Mother energy, Earth Mother goddess, and she's opposing Pluto. So resources, that's a thing. But also when I was sitting with that, there were a few things that were coming forward. It was really more of a visual thing. Like I was seeing an Empress, like I was seeing Empress energy, like Empress visualization. And I was seeing all these roots like beneath her and like dark, like, you know, hidden underneath, like can't see. It's like, what feeds into Earth Mother energy? What helps to support? What helps to nourish? What helps to grow Earth Mother energy? These oppositions, these changes, disruptions, tolerance, these challenges, whatever word you want to use, will show you what roots you don't have yet for your Earth Mother energy, your personal Earth Mother energy, which is how you grow your own abundance, right? Which is how you move into flow state for everybody, men and women alike, even though it's relating to feminine energy. It's going to show you what's blocking that, what's been keeping you from that, which makes sense that it would be around control issues, right? So let it show you that. Let it show you that. Moving on. So that's 25 to 29 degrees Cancer, Capricorn is where this might show up in your personal houses. So for example, for me, that is my 7th house, Capricorn, and predominantly, well, I guess technically it's gonna be my 2nd house. Doesn't have to be bad, but makes me a little on edge. You see how for me it's kind of a border, right? But that predominantly, that range sits in my 2nd house. That's something to really think about for me. I'm just like, it just hit me, so I'm just sitting with it, and it's like I totally get it, but it makes me go like, oh, because I know exactly what it is that I need to deal with. Anyway, moving beyond myself. Aries 5 to 10 degrees. This is where we're going to have the problem solving, making plans, social energy. This is also going to be a great time to travel for those of you who can make that happen this week or already have plans for that. It's also going to be a great time to also pick up new studies and new hobbies and things of that nature. But Aries 5 to 10 degrees, there's going to be a lot of things going on there. Very social, very busy, very active. Enjoy it. That's where Jupiter is right now. So enjoy it. You might also see some luck or a sense of fate come into that house for you. You're also going to see support for that energy come through from Gemini and Leo, 5 to 10 degrees. I really feel like Aries is where we're going to see the bulk of it, but definitely support from Gemini and Leo. So for example, for me, it's my 10th house. Ooh, 10th house. Oh, okay. I'm excited. 10th for me, that's my 10th house. Aries, 5 to 10 degrees, sits in my 10th house. Where is Gemini and Leo for me? 2nd house. Oh, this is getting interesting. 2nd house and 12th house. Got it. Okay. So remember what I was saying with the whole like challenges coming up, right? For Cancer, Capricorn. And for me, that's my 2nd house and my 7th house. 2nd house is the late degrees Cancer. But 2nd house for me is also early degrees Leo. So this might happen to some of you where that late degrees Cancer, early degrees Leo really overlaps into one house, which again makes sense, right? Because it's to get you to see something. It's to get you to see changes and to grow from those changes. So I would even argue that for me, 2nd house would actually be a good way to, not just to have some problem solving, but to help me cope with some of the changes that I'm making, me even implement some of the changes in these other houses. I'm just thinking out loud here, you guys. 12th house though. Mm. To me, that's just resolving shit, closing shit out, karmic resolution, moving on. The last thing I want to mention, early degrees Cancer is where you might see some excess come in. You might see a little bit show up in the Aries 5 to 10 degrees that we just went over, but I really feel like because it's in relation to Venus and Jupiter, not just everything else that Jupiter is doing, but Venus and Jupiter, that where Venus is where you might see that excess come up, which for me, that's my first house. Interesting. Okay. So yeah, let's go ahead and get into some collective message, and then if I have energy and I feel like it's right, I will go through sign by sign, rising sign. I know some people, by the way, before we actually move on, I know some people were upset because they don't know their rising sign, or they feel like they don't have a way to look it up. The rising sign, the way that I read it, you can still attribute your personal planets to that if you wanted to. It won't necessarily be super accurate, but it'll give you a good sense of some of the energy that might be impacting you because you have strong placements in that sign, okay? Just so you know. By the way, this week, I would definitely say that the most impacted signs, cardinal, like what's that word? Cardinal signs for sure. Cancer, Capricorn, Aries, and Libra, just because, you know, an accomplice to the sisterhood of the cardinal signs. Definitely you guys will feel this energy the most. It doesn't mean the most is going to happen to you. It means energetically, emotionally, mentally, you're going to feel more impacted by the events that take place this week compared to the other signs. Okay, collective. Let's do collective message. I just heard, let your worries fall away. Please don't fight the disruptions that happen. For those of you who will experience them, please don't fight them. It's really happening for a good reason. Even if the colorful conversations become intense or overwhelming or too much or seems really destructive, it doesn't have to take away from your joy. It doesn't have to take away from your possibilities. Like, just let yourself just let yourself enjoy life. Just let yourself have fun. Just let yourself be happy, no matter if other people are really unhappy with you, because you can do as much as you can to work with people, to compromise, but also somebody at their core is unhappy or miserable or so triggered by just who you are, because that's often the case for some of you. Can't really do anything about it. Okay. Yeah. Just let yourself have fun. Give yourself that permission. All right, so where are we starting? What deck are we starting with? What deck are we starting with? Animals? Are you guys calling me? Yes, I heard yes. All right. Starting with the Wild Unknown Animal Spirit deck. Any messages or insights for the collective? Give me lots of different birds. That definitely screams air, communication. Not. Did you hear the birds just then? I saw like a few just fly forward the second I said that, and they're staring at me. I love the birds here. Anyway, that definitely screams like communication to me, air energy. I also have a feeling too, like if you guys allow yourself towards the end of the week to let loose a little bit, again, not to excess, but just to your heart's desire, I think you're going to be very surprised at some clarity that you receive, and also the attention. Interesting. The attention that you receive from other people, that feels very positive to me. I just feel like mingling. I think that's why the birds are coming through like that. I just feel a lot of mingling. The crow wanted to come out for a second, and then he went back in. It was like, I acknowledged you. I acknowledge the birds. Any messages or insights for the collective for this week? Also, you guys ready for Lionsgate? I've been really busy, like, trying to make sure I have everything ready for the retreat that I'm co-hosting at the end of the month. I'm excited. I'm so excited. I'm also a little nervous, but I'm so excited. So I've been getting ready. Anyway, just had to share. Horse. Oh, that screams Capricorn. That's like, I can feel the Capricorn and Cancer combo going on in Horse. Again, the changes, disruptions, challenges that might happen with the Cancer opposing Capricorn through Pluto, through the Sun, through Ceres, that's going to be happening in the beginning of the week. It is to help you grow. It's also to help you move into more abundant energy, to help you to not like self-restrict yourself through the illusion of needing control, okay? It's like through accepting flow. Like they're literally showing me an empress with all these roots that no one else can see that's helping to create and sustain. Thank you, sustain. That's the word I wanted to use. Sustain, to help sustain this empress. That's totally horse energy. Horse energy is about endurance, but it's also through grace. It's endurance through grace. It is like the person who knows, this is the mastery of earth, by the way, in this deck. This is a mastery of earth card right here. Like the lion is mastery of fire for that element. So here we have mastery of earth. So Capricorn. But through grace, through that Cancer energy. This is somebody who is organized enough and diligent enough to wake up at 5 a.m., hit the gym, then go meditate, then stretch, then make breakfast, then get to work, then take a little time off to play and have some fun, then come back to work, and then come back and clean the house, and then check in on the kids. And then by the end of it, they still have enough time to take care of themselves and to still feel every present moment and to still be in tune with nature, in tune with themselves, and to be in tune with love and compassion, but they never lose sight of their goals. You understand what I'm saying? Mastery of earth, mastery of the physical plane through grace, through balance, through connection to themselves emotionally, understanding their needs, and through their own intuition, understanding all things around them that are happening and how to flow with that. How to sustain Earth Mother, how to sustain Empress energy. Wow. It's a big message for the collective right there. Whew. So I'm going to stop for a second. So I did a video, I don't know if it was yesterday or the day before. It might have been the day before yesterday, from the day that I'm recording now. Because for those on YouTube, you're watching this a couple of days after I posted this on Patreon. Anyway. I did a video for what the full moon in Capricorn was going to mean for the United States. And it's like, as I put that card down, I felt that. I felt that energy of like the US. And granted, there's a lot of stuff going on in the world in all kinds of countries, right? The only reason I focused on the US initially is because when I did the astrology, I noticed, particularly with the US, there was something interesting going on there. So I just looked into that one in particular. How to sustain the Earth Mother. How to sustain the life force, the entity, you can even say institution, that is meant to give life, that is meant to keep life going, cyclically, sustainably, in a natural way. And the way this country functions is not like that, right? We have not been nurturing the Earth Mother for a very long time here. So this week might be another window in relation to the full moon Capricorn for the US, just to further see how we haven't been doing that and what changes are needed. But anyway, moving on, coming back to the collective. Any other messages or insights for the collective for this week? Am I taking these? Is a lot. No, thank you. It's like 6 cards. Any other messages or insights for the collective? A bird, we got a bird. We got the eagle. Eagle medicine typically is about discernment and it's wisdom. It's being able to see from all of the vantage points, right? To see all truth all at once and act accordingly. Like that is eagle energy. It's very like highly evolved Scorpio energy, psychic energy, you could say, where psychic ability meets intellect. You could even say that. In this deck, though, it actually speaks of karmic energy. It speaks of new cycles to be experienced. right? If you're ready for it, if you embrace it, it's coming. Again, we do have Pluto coming in here to show us that, and I do feel like it's coming through the eagle. I mean, it's funny, right? I just mentioned this whole Scorpio connection, Pluto connection. It's coming. Whatever it is for you personally, it could be minor, it could be significantly major, but whatever it is, it's to challenge any issues you may have around control, again, including resources. Your resources might change or fluctuate, but it's to get you to this. It's to get you to nurture your own Earth Mother energy, your own horse energy, that level of strength, that level of integrity, that level of I can maintain and master my earthly plane through grace. But that's what the eagle's here. It's a reminder of, yes, this is a change, and it could be a new cycle. It might feel very karmic, but it's here. It's here. I'm also feeling Mercury here too. Sorry, I gotta stop for a second. I'm also feeling that Mercury energy here too. Again, towards the end of the week, a lot. So I don't know if it was the phone or my contacts, just make it all blurry. Mercury. Towards the end of the week, Mercury and Pallas Athena both working with Jupiter to help us problem solve, to help us see from a higher perspective on how to handle current circumstances and what changes are needed, or if a change has happened, how to adapt to that. Okay. Any other messages or insights? If plans fall through, sorry, this just came in really strong. If significant plans fall through, you can, be upset. If you're upset about it, be upset. I'm not going to tell you not to feel something. Try not to fight it, and try to just let it open your mind a little bit to be like, okay, that's not working out. Now I have the space to do whatever you want, right? Or the space to fill with something else. Like, think of it like that. I feel like those of you where you're going to experience that, it's for a good reason. Like, it might make room for something even better. Oh, butterfly. Very nice. Change and transformation as a result of Pluto, as I'd said before. Whoa, sorry, I'm just peeking. So underneath butterfly, we have moth, phoenix, and deer. The phoenix is like a phoenix rising, and it speaks of the root chakra. And Rose saying, like, the roots. I keep seeing the roots, feeding the earth mother, feeding the deer. This is like the divine mother, divine feminine principle in this deck. Literally, we have the root system feeding earth mother. I had to show you. It's like, how could I not? This card also speaks of breaking away from karmic patterns as well. Literally. The moth energy is interesting because the moth energy is like a magnetism. It's like an unstoppable force. It's an attraction energy. I feel like it's really just representing an unstoppable force that is just, it's happening, so don't fight it, right? So kind of what I've been saying, and see how you can further feed, nourish, sustain your own earth mother energy. Underneath that, we have snake. You see that the sacred geometry going on there? This speaks of Kundalini energy and creative potential that's been untapped, and now it's going to be tapped. Sorry, exciting when the cards work out like that. But anyway, beautiful transformation here. Beautiful changes to come of this. Oh, okay, let's do another spread to go along with this. Peach? Oh, I just got peach. Peaches? Peaches. I have no idea what peaches mean. Maybe it's just a confirmation for somebody. I literally just saw peaches and I'm like, okay. Sometimes the things I see. Okay. What other deck wants to be worked with? Let's go with the tarot deck. We're going to go with the Runic Tarot. The Runic Tarot, it's interesting because I've typically always read reversals. This is the only tarot deck I have that doesn't like to be read with reversals. Any tarot readers out there know what I'm talking about. You have a relationship with your decks. And it is also facilitated through your spirit team. And this is just how the deck likes it with me for whatever reason. So just letting you guys know that before I get into it. I'm an intuitive reader anyway. So. Any messages or insights? Any messages or insights for the collective for this week? Yeah, I'm seeing the Tower card. Definitely seeing the Tower card. Don't resist it. Do not resist it. Do not resist it. Let it show you how you have not been sustaining your own Earth Mother energy, and let it show you how you can. It's actually going to help you to see how you can tap into your own magic, utilize your own magic, utilize your own powerful divine energy that we all have. Any other messages or insights? Let's see here. Ooh. Oh, took my breath away looking at that. Just feels it, the energy, it feels intense. Oh my God, look at the sun in this too. It looks almost identical. Oh, that's eerie. And then you have the moon over here with the world. So we have the King of Wands with the world. This is Saturn. It is karmic energy. I keep feeling Pluto. Judgment card is Pluto. It's not the world, but I'm really still feeling strong Pluto energy. King of Wands is Leo energy. It's lighting a fire under you. Like I said, some of you are going to take your own initiative to make your own changes. Some of you will. Some of you don't have to wait around for the universe to do it for you. And I actually think it's going to be in a better position because it's actually going to be at your own pace, in your own time. So it's going to be easier to adapt to because you're making the choice. But for those where these changes kind of or I don't want to say forced, but you're forced to adapt. It's going to light a fire. It's going to light a fire, and you're going to rise to action to do whatever it is you have to do to make the changes you have to make to nourish and sustain your own personal Earth Goddess energy. Earth Goddess, Mother Goddess energy internally, you can use it for all kinds of different things, right? I did just get, for some of you, it's actually just learning how to sustain yourself, how to fill your own cup, essentially, as the phrase goes. And making life changes accordingly. I'm really feeling that for my Leos, like Leo risings. I'm really feeling strong, like healthy habits, healthy lifestyle choices to sustain yourself there. So that's kind of interesting. But anyway, it's showing your own magic, your own power, how capable you really are. Like I said, towards the end of the week, there's fun coming. There's fun, there's play, there's socializing, there's making plans and seeing what opportunities arise and where you can go with it, where you can run with it. So be ready to embrace that. Be ready to be done with some very deeply rooted patterns and to be open to new things that you haven't been able to be open to before. And you can handle it. Like, this is the other thing, like the integrity. The integrity. You can handle these opportunities if you can break some of these patterns. The King of Wands does not mess around. Like, King of Wands, they rise to the occasion. They'll start something massive for other people to possibly finish, but still, they'll start something massive. And they're not afraid to do it. They're not afraid to be in the spotlight. They're not afraid to lead either. They're not afraid to be proactive like that and take control over their own life or a situation just by saying, yes, I will do it now. Sheer will. There's sheer willpower there, which also feels very Aries-like to me. But anyway, very nice. Let's continue. Again, travel is very well aspected. Any other messages or insights? So this is kind of like, this feels like it's kind of falling into duality a little bit, but I feel like it also is going to illustrate this whole sustaining Earth Mother. Masculine energy sustains feminine energy. It sustains it. It keeps it in a container, if you will. The support system is masculine energy. And I'm talking about within the self. I'm not talking about like between you and other people, but yes, sure, that applies. But within yourself, right? Like your own ability to be able to say, yes, I will do something, to say, yes, I can follow through with something, to say, yes, I can protect something, yes, I can stand for this, yes, I can, you know, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, to make moves, helps to actually create an environment that is solid, that is secure, for your own feminine energy to take care of yourself, to thrive, to create, to nurture, to be able to do its thing. So you see what I'm saying? So the fact that it's the king, I'm not surprised, because that is what's needed to get those roots. What's the word I'm looking for? Get those roots nice and healthy. I'll say it that way. I wanted to say flooded, and I'm like, and I got a weird, like, I don't know, sexual kind of like sperm vibe there. But anyway, moving on. Moving on. Let's just move on before it gets real awkward. Okay. Anything else for the collective for this week? Ooh, 3 of Swords, and it landed right on top of the King of Wands in the world. Break those patterns. Be done with it. King of Wands, the shadowy version of that, is control issues. It is. It just is. And again, this is coming down to what control issues you have that are keeping your roots from being healthy and sustaining your own Earth Mother energy. What thought forms, what belief systems, what suffering, what pain, what expectations are causing you discomfort when changes happen that you feel like you got to control something, or even like hold yourself back in some way, because even that is a form of control. It comes from something that is in conflict with your own truth and your own desires, whatever it is, and it's holding you back. It is a collective holding us back, right? Be done with it. Be done with it. Whoa. Okay, I just saw a very, they give me messages in such interesting ways. So the 3 Swords, I put it down and I saw my truth, their truth, the truth. Duality, unity. Black, white, the real truth. The gray layers of the truth. That's literally what I just saw. That feels really powerful to me. My perception, the other perception. This could even be internal, this could be external. Blatant truth. Little truth in everything. If some of these control issues are stemmed in trauma, or some kind of story or narrative you're holding on to that caused you pain or suffering at some point in time, you have your perception of it and you have your perception of the external factors that played a role. There's an in-between truth. Because there is truth in everything. There is a collective unified truth in that. And I think that will help you to let it go. Taking accountability while also recognizing the roles that were played there, right? That's seeing the unified truth. Going deep today. I like it. Any other messages or insights for this week? Overall, we got the 10 of Wands. Wow. The 7 of Wands. Yes. Fight for it. With the Wheel of Fortune and the 3 of Cups. Yes, 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 yes. Oh my God. I love it. I love it. So first of all, that 10 of Wands speaks, I'm hearing end of the line. This is literally what I'm hearing. End of the line. Again, whatever you've been struggling with for the last couple months, essentially the last few years, but it's really been in your face for the last few months, most likely, it's created a tension. It's created a tension. It's also created a little bit of stagnancy. And now it's in your face and you're being challenged with it because there's something external happening, or you're personally fed up with being frustrated. You're personally fed up with feeling this issue and you're ready to make a change. End of the line. 7 of Wands. I love it. There's a 3 of Wands here. Looking on to new horizons, making the conscious decision to look forward and to fight for it with the 7 of Wands, to fight for it, to allow for the change to happen. Wheel of Fortune, this is also Jupiter, and we know Jupiter's playing a role, to just consciously make that choice for something different, for something better, for something unknown, something that is different than what kind of suffering you've been perceiving or experiencing. And on to happy, joyful times. Have fun this week, okay? Have fun by the end of it. The beginning of the week, the challenges you're faced with, disruptions, towers, whatever they are, allow them to take place. Allow yourself to be done with some pattern, some issue that's been giving you grief, that's been giving you stagnancy, that's been giving you a headache, that you have definitely played a role in. It's karmic. It's something that also, it definitely comes from you. And yes, other people around you have played a role in it and possibly even share in it with you, but you are a part of it. And because you're a part of it, you have the free will to make the conscious decision to be done and to do things differently. I loved this reading. This was so cool. Very empowering reading. I just want to like share this energy with everybody. Do you need advice? I don't think you need advice. Honestly, I don't think you need it. I'll pull a card. You don't need it, but I'll pull a card. But let's do spell casting. I haven't done that one in a long time. All the decks I use are linked below, by the way. Something got very hot in here. It's not effective as a fan. Any advice for the collective for this week? I keep hearing the phrase colorful conversations. Colorful conversations. Again, this is also aligning with the full moon Capricorn energy that we've been experiencing too. So if anything in particular was part of your intentions with the full moon Capricorn in relation to breaking certain habits or patterns, or trying to deal with and get clarity from a certain part of your life that's been really frustrating the last few years, particularly the last couple months, this week you could see a significant change. I often think faster than I can speak, and I speak really fast, so there's a lot that goes through my head. Anyway, advice. Advice for the collective. Advice for the collective. Yes. Yes. Let it go. Healing and forgiveness. Let it go. Let it go. Let it go. Let it go. Forgive and accept yourself, all versions of you, all nostalgic memories of where you've been engaging this pattern. You have, again, this discomfort, right? The fighting of truths. Like when I saw that, I was like, oh yeah. It's like, I totally see that. I totally see that. Black, white, gray. My perspective, everybody else, the truth. Anyway, sorry, coming back. Yeah, let it go. Healing and forgiveness. I mean, that's like perfect combination here for this reading. I don't even need to really talk about it or say much about it. Healing and forgiveness. Let it go, let it go, let it go. Break those patterns. Okay, how am I feeling to do rising signs? God, 48 minutes. I mean, it felt like such a complete reading, didn't it? I mean, it really felt like a complete reading. Try to feel it out. I'm gonna give it a try. Let's do it. Let me just get all my, put all the signs down so I don't miss anybody or forget anybody. All right, so we have Aries, Taurus, Gemini, Cancer. Now again, yes, this is based off your rising sign, but if you have very strong placements or stelliums with any of these signs, you can also look at those respective signs and see what comes through for you because you are connected to that sign energy. I'm not saying it's going to be super accurate, but it might help. It might help. Virgo, Libra, Scorpio, Sag, Cap, Aqua, and Pisces. And we are looking at 25 to 29 degrees Cancer, Capricorn, 5 to 10 degrees Aries, Leo, Gemini are supports. Okay. All right, might as well just go in order, right? So let's just start with Aries. Let's start with Aries. So obviously that would be first house for Aries. Actually, you know what? I'm going to look at Aries as a ladder energy. So let's look at Cancer first. So that's going to be fourth house and 10th house. And then we have first house. Oh, didn't make enough space. First house. Okay, so typical. So Aries, because you are Aries, you know, Cancer and Capricorn and Aries are all sitting in their respective houses, home, right? Essentially, with your opposition with the fourth house and the 10th house, you could definitely see disruptions, changes, or you've probably been experiencing frustrations or challenges at home, at work, how you balance both, how you take care of yourself emotionally versus taking care of your material possessions in practical life. Now, your first house is actually going to be where you can have some conflict resolution happening, which is really interesting, right? Because that's the self-image, that's the self, that's the I am. Taking accountability is going to be huge for you, Aries, if there's any accountability to be taken. Okay. I do feel like if you are having issues, especially with, no, actually all above, relationship wise, like family or work life family, work family or household family. I'm not really feeling friendships. I'm really feeling more like your intimate, strong relationships. The people you spend a lot of time with, have to talk to a lot, have to engage with a lot. I honestly feel like being an example. Yeah. Being an example of the solution itself, really key, really important. If you're an Aries that struggles with, especially if you have Chiron Aries and you're an Aries rising, if you're an Aries that has really struggled with being authentic or just really kind of being yourself, this is a time to really embrace you. And that's actually going to help to start smoothing things out. It's almost like you're going to be the one who helps resolve things just by being you. Being comfortable enough to really speak up and speak out as well. That was coming through really strongly. Yeah, to speak up and speak out. Thank you. You have to take center stage, Aries. To resolve some of these issues or disruptions or towers that's going to be happening, you have to be really authentic for those who struggle with that. You have to really be able to sit in yourself. You have to be the example of the solution. I almost want to say, especially in relation to like the Earth Mother message, like be the Earth Mother. Almost to be very Cancerian, actually. And no, you got to be both. You got to be both that Cancer, Cappy energy with that. But like, be the Earth Mother. Be strong, be grounded, but be patient. Be patient. Be compassionate. Listen. And when it's time to speak, don't speak in terms of like, here's what's wrong, right? Speak in terms of being supportive to let the other people know you hear them. You hear them and they are seen, and allow them the space to move through whatever emotional stuff they need to move through and then come to resolution together. Wow, very big, very powerful. Aries, for a lot of you, this is going to be an opportunity to really step up and to be a true leader, what it means to be a true, well-rounded leader, whether it's within a family or a work context, okay? Not the hero. Sorry if I need to say that. Not the hero, the leader. Okay. Let's move on to Taurus. You guys are one up, right? So Taurus, Gemini, Cancer. Yeah, so third house. Oh yeah, duh, third house. Third house, Cancer. Oh, ninth house, Capricorn. You can figure it out, Taurus. Sorry, that just came in really strong. You can figure it out. You can figure it out. I feel like there's been a frustration with figuring. Like it's almost like I got a big math problem in front of you is kind of how this is feeling. Like logistical problem, a problem where there's clearly missing information. Thank you. Yeah, there's clearly missing information, clearly missing puzzle pieces, and I feel frustration. Like, you know, for example, if it's like a project You started the project, you planned everything out the way a Taurus would, and you were doing it the right way. And you suddenly hit all these roadblocks that were really unforeseen, maybe even nonsensical, and only realizing, like, the further you get into it, there's more and more that you don't actually know. Ooh, there's more and more you don't actually know. It's very humbling for you, Taurus. It's very humbling. Especially because you have Aries in the 12th house. So your problem solving is actually going to come by way of the 12th house, which is healing. It's Piscean energy. It's the void space. It's where everything comes to close out, to be resolved. It's also isolation. It's also dream space and stuff like that too. But it's in the house of Aries, where the ego needs to have some sort of transformation or resolution, come to terms with some truths. So for Taurus, some of you, this is a humility thing, okay? Where you started a venture or you were trying something out, or, you know, this could happen in any context, but what you have in front of you that's been frustrating you, it's either a big plan or some kind of project, something that requires a lot of logistics. Maybe you're like trying to buy a house, build a house. It could even be just a goal that requires a lot of logistics. And you were very confident with approaching it, only to realize that you had a lot more to learn. You had a lot more to understand. I'm also feeling for some of you, like on a minor level, it can translate to having a conflict between obligation, and I'm feeling strong institution energy. So for some, it could be like university, government, but I'm feeling strong institution, or it could be literally your workplace, especially if you work in like government or public service. Yeah, education. I'm hearing education. I don't know if I said university, but education. I just heard the word. Anyway, conflict between your obligation to society, your obligation to institutions, and I honestly just feel fun. Like I feel casual emotional connection. Oh, interesting. What it means to not just be a number in society, but to meet people on a human level, right? So for example, if you have a job in like a hospital, right? You might in your job have to deal a lot with like the practical logistical side of running a hospital or being a part of an institution in that way, and needing to think about coding charts and, you know, cost of treatments for a certain patient, about their insurance and stuff like that. But you're also very torn because you really feel strongly about just caring about people and getting to connect with people in that kind of human way. Oh, excuse me. The change you might want to make, that might have to be a big change. That was like an extreme example, but it was like the only one I could think of, right? Like, do you change jobs? Do you work somewhere else? Do you change your attitude about people, or do you change your attitude about the job? 12th house, like this is like big resolution of some things, and in Aries, all around the self, the identity, the ego. That'd be a hard one. I would definitely lean on, I would lean on Gemini and Leo for support system for my Taurus risings, which would be 2nd house and 4th house. Oh, that'd be leaning literally on family and home, sacred space. So Taurus, make sure that you're really spending some time to keep your home, your personal home, or at least if you share your home with other people and you're having conflict there, at least your room, where you lay your head at night, we'll say that. Where you lay your head at night, make sure you're keeping it very clean, make sure you're keeping it very sacred. I think that's actually where you're going to feel really grounded and be able to figure out how to resolve this conflict you're feeling here between Cancer and Capricorn, no matter how it's manifesting for you. Okay. Wow. Yeah, it's like, it's literally practical, logistical, and just human connection is what you're struggling with in a certain aspect of your life. That feels really heavy. Let's move on. Let's move on to Gemini. Gemini risings. We're looking at the second house and the 8th house. Ooh, I'm hearing possessions. I'm hearing possessions. That means Aries for you. Oh, is 11th house. Okay, before we begin to the possessions, I actually want to dive into Aries for you, Gemini, because Aries sits in the 11th house. This is where you're going to have, you know, conflict resolution, making plans, getting organized, meeting people, new ventures, things like that, right? And in the 11th house, that's kind of perfect because the 11th house is full of possibilities. It's the house of wish fulfillment, of hopes, of friendships and collective support and innovation, right? So that's kind of perfect. That's really, really kind of perfect for you. So I'd actually really try to prioritize Geminis to get out there, have fun, pick people's brains and see what's going on there. But when it comes to Cancer and Capricorn, that battle between the 2nd house and the 8th house, I'm definitely feeling a battle of resources and indulgence. I'm definitely feeling that very strongly with you. Like it's coming through super, 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 super strong. But this possessions, the possessions. Some of you might have really been battling overspending recently in the last couple months. And it's the 8th house is screaming at me, even though I don't think it was coming through the 8th house astrologically, but I'm just really feeling the overspending with you. It almost feels like I'm not going to say hoarding because that's not right, but it's like, why have you felt the need to overspend? Again, this is like all intuitive, the overspending thing. Like, why have you been feeling that the last couple months? What's making you so anxious, or what's making you feel like you need to indulge or feel intoxicated? Like what's pushing you to that point to do that? This week is going to highlight that for you, like why you feel that way. And it doesn't have to just be overspending with like buying things, even though I am hearing possessions. It could even just be overspending on a vice or an indulgence, like alcohol or games or food or whatever. Okay, what else is coming through here? That control. I'm really feeling that in the 8th house. Control. If you've actually been having things out of just happen out of your control, and you always thought that they'd be around, like a relationship or a job or just something or someone, like a certain aspect of your life, I think you've really had a hard time not overdoing or not overspending. But I'm really feeling that strongly in the 8th house. This, like, I want what I want, and I want it to stay mine. Might run a little deep there. Interesting for my Geminis. Okay, let's move on to Cancer. Hi, Cancer. Oh yeah, this is mine. I was like, wait, this looks familiar. Oh yeah, duh. Okay, so first of all, Cancer risings, I'm definitely going to say there's definitely been a battle of, oh gosh. Okay, a couple things. I'm definitely feeling like work and fulfillment. I'm definitely feeling that, like the 1st house against Capricorn energy. And how you're dedicated. Thank you. That's really what it is. That's at the core of it. Thank you. They showed me a root. That's at the core of it. How you are dedicated, what you're obligated to, what you're bonded to, whether it is work, because Capricorn, it could very much be work for you guys. Whether it's work or relationships or situationships, family ties, obligations, essentially. How you've given yourself to things, how you've attached to things, and how it actually has taken away from your sense of self and your sense of fulfillment. That's something that some of you guys have really been struggling with the last few years, possibly the last couple months. It's probably been really hard. Focusing on your 10th house, though, is going to help you to gain perspective of that. So it's 10th house. That's midhaven, right? Ugh. Um, Definitely within the realm of work, but also in how you structure your life. It's not just work. It's literally what your life structurally, physically looks like. Yes, what you're doing every day, but like overall. Think overall, like where's your time going every day? Every second of the day, where's your energy going? Where's your focus going? Who has the privilege to be in your space? Who doesn't? What kind of food are you eating? What are you planning long term? Where are your finances at here and now long term? Like everything, right? This is a chance to really change the complete structure of your life. Cancer risings to fall more in line with being more fulfilling, and also a huge reclaiming too, I can feel, of the self for you through that. It is also Aries in the 10th house as well. I really feel like you should allow yourself to have a lot of fun and to really play, like really play. And you can even play by yourself and be creative by yourself. It doesn't have to be with other people. It would be beneficial to be with other people in doing that. But yeah, it's like I'm really feeling that battle there where it's like, can't, like Cancer risings, you need to be Cancer. You need to be all of your 100% Cancerian self, and the obligations and attachments, the things that have taken pieces of you, the people that have taken pieces of you that you've been obligated to in recent history, presently, or through the course of your life. There needs to be a balance struck there so you can be nourished, Earth Mother, Cancer, so you could be nourished there. But it has to happen, but not has to, but it could. It would help to happen by way of the 10th house. So focus on what you want the entire structure of your life to look like, where you want your energy going every day, how much time and how much energy of yourself do you want dedicated to certain things, and how much of those things, right? Every day. You're also going to find support from Leo and Gemini, which is 2nd house and 12th house. Ooh. 2nd house and 12th house. Watch your resources, Cancers. Watch your resources. I definitely think having some kind of long-term plan around your resources would really help you. I just feel a little bit of a dicey, like, you know, kind of like Gemini was overspending. I think you could easily overdo too. Okay, so watch your resources there. Resource management, financial management, budget management. Some of you guys need to, I almost want to say, some of you need to like sit down and literally, if you got to write everything out, write it out. Write out exactly what you want for the entire structure of your life. You don't have to plan your whole life. I just mean like presently what you would like to see, and then look at where you're at and see what changes you can make. Resources, there definitely needs to be some long-term planning for my Cancer risings. And then Gemini, and breaking patterns. Breaking patterns of being too overly obligated to things that take away from yourself. The 1 to the 7 opposition of Cancer, Capricorn. Okay? All right, moving on. Leo. Hey, Leo. Ooh. Oh, I just got chills as I wrote 12th house for Cancer. And of course, adjust this accordingly, because I'm just doing this based off of like innate, like if you're Leo rising, it's like Cancer's then 12, right? But if somebody's degree ranges fall in other houses, then adjust it accordingly, okay? If you're like early degree rising sign, or really late degree rising sign, that's most likely the case. And Capricorn, and that means, Aries is in the 9th house. Ooh, Leos. So Leo, I definitely, kind of what I was getting before when I pulled up these 2 cards for you. Healthy habits, daily healthy habits, really, really important for you. Excuse me. Don't be too hard on yourself, though. I feel that that's very possible for you. If you're trying to hold yourself to like really strict goals, and it's like you're having trouble meeting them or maintaining them, especially towards the end of the week when it gets hard to be serious and hard to stay on task, because that Cancer in the 12th house, that to me is like, oh my God, Cancer 12th house for my Leo risings right now, that just feels like a big watery womb healing energy. Yeah, like kind of like, don't make me do so many things. There's some things I need to resolve. There's some things that I emotionally need to work through. There's some things I emotionally need to work through. So don't make me do so much. For some of you, that might be why you've been needing this daily task, healthy habits, reform, like reformation. That's not a word. Maybe it is a word. Reevaluation. Because you might realize that it's been hard to maintain healthy habits or a sustainable way of living because there's been some big emotional stuff that you haven't really been able to tackle, and you might need some of that space, and that's okay. With Aries in the 9th house, though, I really feel strongly a trip is going to be really beneficial for you. Taking a trip and allowing yourself to mingle, like, or even taking a retreat where you're able to like talk to people. I think talking is going to be really helpful for you to feel really supported by people. So people really see you and you just feel like people got your back. Like, I think that's something you're really... Gecko. I think that's a gecko. It's kind of a weird sound. I think that's something you're really, really needing here. Okay. A little bit of a sojourn with that. Yeah. Yeah, and then with Leo and Gemini being your literally like your support systems, Gemini's in the 11th house. That also speaks of mingling. That also like speaks of letting yourself kind of be free and let yourself just kind of be vulnerable and authentic, and see what collective support you can get there. And then also the first house, right? Focusing on the self. Yeah, this is a time to take care of Leo. Leo needs some TLC this week, okay? But again, a trip will be very beneficial. All right, Virgo. Where are we at? Oh, 111. Okay. Virgo. So, 11th house for Cancer. And 5th house. For Capricorn. Oh. 8th house for Aries. I'm hearing explore. Yes. Yes, explore. Virgo, this is a time to explore yourself. Not in a sexual way, unless that's your thing. Unless you're feeling it and you're feeling yourself, by all means do it. But yeah, this is a time for self-exploration, but it feels really fun, especially with the 11th house and the 5th house being so high. It's 11th, 5th, and 8th. It's a lot of fun to be had in all those houses. 8th house is not always a scary house. It's where dramatic change can happen. So there can be a lot of dramatic change of the self for you to happen here, but by way of exploring yourself, by way of exploring relationships between the 11th and 5th house, sorry, sometimes I get really forceful. I mean, like, rein it in. The 5th house Capricorn energy, this might be a little bit of a triggery time, Virgo. Not everybody's going to want to look to you. Sorry. It came, like, my guides gave it to me and it was like, oh, this really has to be said. Not everybody wants to look to you to be the anchor, and you don't always have to be the anchor. You don't always have to be the one to make sure things are running okay. You don't always have to be the grounding force. You can also be the supportive force. You can be the one who holds space. You can be the one who literally is background support for projects or for a group of people. Feels a little triggery. I'm not gonna lie, it feels a little triggery, and I can feel some frustration there, and I'm definitely feeling the voice for some reason. Like forceful speaking. Is it clear? Yeah, forceful speaking. Where's Leo for you? Leo for you. Excuse me. Leo for you is 12th house as a support system. In Gemini's 10th house. Ooh. Some big houses there. Explore and have fun, but when it comes to projects or organizing outings or trips, especially particularly with other people, it's okay to play the supportive role. You don't have to be the grounding force all the time. I really feel strong triggers there. Let yourself be loose for a while. Let yourself be a little wild for a little bit. Like, let yourself kick back and relax and have fun, and let someone else worry about the details and logistics and things like that, okay? I just feel very strong, like, leader energy. But with that 11th house Cancer, it's almost like, hey, Let other people do the heavy lifting for a change. Okay. Okay. Moving on to Libra. That's 10th house and 4th house. Oh, and Aries is 7th. Interesting. Aries. Oh, Aries is 7th. Oh, Libra is Libra risings. Oh, you guys are in for an interesting ride. And then your Leo is 11th. And your Gemini is 9th. First of all, Aries in the 7th house as a support system where we're having a lot, where Jupiter's transiting for you, expansion and growth and luck and all of that, but also where we're having success with making plans and getting organized and meeting people and having fun and play and all of that. In the 7th house, definitely with bonded relationships, so people that could potentially be partners for you or people that you're already bonded to, like through contracts of sorts, like business relationships and the like. I'm also feeling creative endeavors there too. So really important house to be getting so much attention. Libra risings, this is, I wouldn't say this unless I felt it. This is potentially a week where you're going to get a lot of clarity as far as what you need in partnerships, what you need in a partner. I'm not talking about a friendship. I'm talking about a partner, what you need in a partner. Your support systems of 11th house and 9th house, that's higher learning. That's higher learning, that's out of the box thinking, and it's also learning via collective or spiritual means. And a lot of this activity is happening in your 7th house, but you have Cancer and Capricorn, 10th and 4th house, opposing the fight, the battle, which is, first of all, structure of your life and also work, institutions and all of that, and money, but also household and family. This is really going to highlight to you what you need out of your partnerships. It's also going to highlight to you what has been destructive in your partnerships as well, and the role that you've played in it along with others. Don't forget your perception, their perception, and the solid truth. So it might be a couple hard pills to swallow, but it's also going to be so mind-blowing for my Libra risings. It's going to be like, wow. A lot of personal growth when it comes to relating to people. And the next relationship you have, for those who are single or are not married or going through divorce or what have you, the next relationship you have will definitely benefit from it. Okay? All right, Scorpio. We got 9th house energy, we've got 3rd house energy, and we've got Aries in the 6th house for my Scorpio risings. I'm hearing responsibility. That's interesting. Responsibility. Why responsibility? Why responsibility? Scorpios, I mean, first of all, when it comes to changes in Pluto energy, you can handle it. You're a Scorpio. A lot of people say that Scorpios don't like change, and I definitely don't agree with that. I mean, again, everyone's different. Everybody's different. Everybody has a unique experience regardless of what goes on with their chart. But every Scorpio I've ever met embraces change. They're not afraid to do what has to be done, to go through that kind of process. They might go through that process hard compared to other people, but they're not afraid to do it. But I'm hearing responsibility. Responsibility for yourself, responsibility for your life, responsibility for your actions is really what's coming through here. Aries in the 6th house, I definitely feel like you're gonna have an opportunity this week to get really, really organized. Like, I almost feel like going back to basics. Thank you. Like streamlined, going back to basics. The day-to-day version of your life, and your health is going to benefit from this too, is going to be more streamlined. It's going to be more clean. It's going to be more organized. I think that's really cool. People might even help you with this. You might be making more friends, or actually making acquaintances. Acquaintances are going to give you insight in how to do this, but that's a form of taking accountability. That's a form of taking accountability for your own stuff. But you do have support too from the 8th house and the 10th house, which is also, again, the container of your life, right? Through the 10th house, and 8th house is transformation. And I'm hearing magic and magic. So Scorpios, you're going to be working some alchemy this week. again, getting more organized, streamlining your life, but it's going to help you with this third house, ninth house, a battle of truth. Interesting. Oh, Scorpios, you're battling truth? What's real? I just heard what's real. Scorpios, you've had a hard time deciding where your focus needs to be. It's almost like you've been perceiving too many truths and not understanding how to reconcile them. That's interesting. That's literally what I'm getting. Like a battle of doing things a battle of truths and like how to, God, how do I say this? It's really belief systems. It's truths, but it's really belief systems, because I was getting a little bit of like old paradigm belief systems on, I have to do A and then B, C, D, E, F, because that's been a successful way to do things. And then ninth house Cancer, like that to me is like, no, there's a whole other way to look at something, and it's through feeling, it's through flow. And I feel like you've been kind of struggling with this balance of both. You've been struggling with that. But if you kind of clean your life out a little bit, logistically speaking, streamline things and take accountability and responsibility for where you've either been wasting energy, you've been wasting focus, or you've actually been focusing on things that you don't even necessarily want or desire, or just taking up space. Like, again, cleaning up your focus. It's gonna help you with that. Your Scorpios, you guys are definitely battling the whole being in the world but not of it. You're battling staying on that tether, that very fine line. I can feel it, like traditional tactics, traditional like ways of doing life and being in flow state. You've been battling the two. This is a time to, again, clean up your life to be able to handle it better. Okay? All right, moving on to Sag risings. Okay. We've got 8th house with Cancer, 2nd house with Capricorn, ooh, and 5th house with Aries. Okay, Saggies. I see you. Ooh, it's time to have fun. It's time to have fun. Just walk that fine line, though, of indulging in your secret desires and the things that make you just, totally turned on. Resources. Interesting, resources. So have fun, don't have too much fun. You are Jupiter ruled, and Jupiter is in that position with Venus. So especially if you're a Venus Sag and you're a Venus rising, with this going on too, Venus rising, Sag rising, just be cautious. Ooh, or if you're an Aries rising with Venus Sag, yeah, be cautious here. Wait, where's Leo? Oh, so we got 7th house and 9th house as support systems. With Aries in the 5th house, it's time to have fun. Be out there, do your thing, be seen, create, explore, try new things, travel. It's going to work out great. It's going to be really, really, almost like cathartic, interesting. You're going to blow off steam that way. But with Cancer and Capricorn battling it out in the 2nd and 8th houses, you definitely have some emotional or like desires, and also passionate desires, very like sacral related desires that want to come out. They want to play, they want to have fun, they want to be seen, they want to be acknowledged, and you should acknowledge them. Just be careful about your resources. And don't restrict yourself, but try not to overdo. Try to walk that line and still maintain moderation and have fun. But the 7th and 9th house as support. People you trust, that just came through. People you trust to actually go to for insight, for advice, they can give you guidance during this time. So if you're like wanting to go and try something or explore, like go try a new whatever and really blow off steam, but you're not sure you should or not sure you should spend the money, going to people that you trust for advice, and I mean really, really trust, that you go to anyway, will really give you the proper guidance on how to handle that. Okay? Cappies. Let's see. We have 7th house Cancer. I got confused for a second. 7th house Cam. This is like, it's fun doing this, but once you get towards the end, it's like, oh, am I seeing Cancer? Am I seeing start seeing signs? Obviously Capricorn, your 1st house Capricorn, you are 7th house Cancer, And 4th house, Aries. Definitely some lessons in relationships here. Strong family energy. Really, really, really strong family energy. It's good to, I'm not going to say rely, but this is going to be a week where you're going to be challenged to emotionally be very vulnerable and to seek out emotional support from family or people that you share a household with at this time. And a part of you might feel so resistant to that, like you don't want the help, like you don't want the support, but it's going to show you how beneficial it is. It's going to make you feel lighter. It's going to help you to feel lighter. It's also going to be a good facilitator to keep learning to ask for help, keep learning to share, keep learning to tell people where you're at emotionally, so people can stop assuming that you're fine and you're strong. That's a typical issue for my Cappies. Let's see, the other supports we have are the 6th house and the 6th house and the 8th house. That's a Leo. Yeah, with a Leo in the 8th house here, with these other aspects and what I'm feeling for you, Capricorn, this is learning to take a back seat. I forget what other sign had that too. Oh, it was Virgo. Oh, Taurus had something similar, so it seems like my earth signs are going through very similar things. So Capricorn, it's okay to take a back seat when it comes to anything. It's okay to ask for support. It's okay to share with people where you're at. It's okay to share with people like, hey, I can't do that right now. Hey, I'm out of steam. Hey, I'm struggling with A, B, C, D, E, and that's just where I'm at. Yeah. Yeah. I feel like you have a lot on your plate. I mean, you are Capricorns, just saying. But no, I do. I feel like you have a lot on your plate. I feel like there's a lot of things you also want to add to your plate. Kind of like a little bit like Scorpio, actually. A little bit like my Scorpio risings. It's like your focus is kind of like this way, no, that way, this way, that way, this way, that way. And you're really struggling to handle your plate right now, or at least to see what your plate should look like. So a little similar to Scorpio. Again, really let yourself be vulnerable with people that you're close to or that you live with, and particularly with family. Also, strong female energies, to give you the support, to give you guidance, and to help you. Like, you can delegate. Especially if there's like a work scenario you're experiencing this, you can delegate to other people. Okay, there's something else coming up in here too. My domain. I just heard my domain. My domain. My domain, my domain. Why am I hearing my domain? Capricorn, I think you guys are also you're wanting to claim something as yours. I just keep hearing my domain. And you're very serious about it. Some of you, I almost feel a little bit of a desperate energy there. I'm actually starting to feel a little bit of Pluto energy there. Like, it to help you to feel more in control. It's to help you to feel more secure. Some of you, you're attaching your sense of identity or self-image to that. Others of you, you actually don't feel at home without having whatever this is. I think for whoever I'm channeling this for, it's for somebody who actually wants to buy a home or have their own space, own car. It's like, it's to have a possession of some kind, but it's like my domain, my territory. Again, you're either attributing it to some sort of part of your identity or self-image, that if you have this thing, if this is your domain and your territory, then it says something about you or has you in an image of achievement or success. And others of you, it's actually more about like a home or a sense of safety, security, because you don't feel safe, you don't feel at home. Wow. So talk to people, be vulnerable with people, let yourself face face some of these issues, okay? Because for some of you, Pluto's going through your first house, which is essentially changing your identity, helping you to change your identity and how you identify yourself, how you see yourself. Moving on, feeling a little somber there. Moving on to Aquarius. Aquarius, we have Cancer in the 6th house. Okay. And then 12th house. We have Capricorn. 3rd house, Aries. Ideas galore. And then 5th house, Gemini. Yeah. And then, 7th house, Leo. Aquarians, very social this week. A lot of social energy with you, and I feel a lot of inspiration. That's the word. Inspiration going on. I feel a lot of like muse-like energy, like light bulb moments. Getting a lot of light bulb moments with you by way of other people. Like your 5th house, your 7th house, your 3rd house. Very social houses when it comes to friendships, dating, and even marriage. Like kind of all levels of relationships really are being highlighted here. And all of these houses, the 3rd, the 5th, and the 7th, really, really important for you as far as luck, fortune, making plans, getting organized, trying new things, and traveling this week, and problem solving and resolution. The 3rd house, the 5th house, and the 7th house, so all by way of socializing. Again, you're going to be getting ideas, big light bulb moments, big light bulb moments, big light bulb moments. Now, your 6th house and your 12th house are in opposition with the Cancer and the Capricorn here. Don't be so quick to be done with things. This is going to be an interesting one for you, because this is a week of letting go of patterns. Don't be so quick to dismiss. Don't be so quick to throw things away, to be done with things. That's actually what I'm getting with you. It's very interesting. It's a very interesting energy. Just because something is slow to happen or slow to grow doesn't mean it's not going to come to fruition. Sometimes the best things, the most rewarding things in life, whether it's a relationship or a job or a project or a personal goal of yours, cultivating it, working on it for months to years, sometimes yields the highest fruit, highest rewards, and sometimes makes it the most long-standing, makes it worthwhile, makes it special. Don't be so quick to throw things away or throw opportunities away or be done with trying something out or trying someone out, because you never know. That's a big lesson here for you this week. That's something that's going to be highlighted to you. And it's going to come by way of relationships. So it might even, for some of you, it might even be like a reflection of old romantic relationships where you might be realizing you gave up on someone too soon. And if they were an ass, they were an ass, right? But like, I mean, maybe it was like, something about it made you bored, or maybe it was mundane, maybe it just wasn't exciting enough for you. Doesn't mean it wasn't going to be fruitful. So anyway, big lesson for my aquas there. All right, Pisces, last but not least, beautiful Pisceans, we have 5th house Cancer and 11th house Capricorn, and 2nd house Aries. And what is this? 4th for Gemini and 6 for Leo. Let me sit with this one for a second. I feel investments with you, Pisces. I'm feeling investments. Yeah, investments. 2nd, 4th, and 6th house. Strong investment energy, even if you're just investing like back into your own life, maybe not even financially, but I do feel financial investment, even possibly like redecorating a home, renovation, reinvesting, either in your life or an aspect that really adds to a major quality of your life. It doesn't feel like new investments, it's reinvesting. With Cancer and Capricorn in 5th house to opposition to 11th house. Interesting, Pisces. you seem to be taking some center stage here. Yeah, you seem, yeah, you seem to be taking center stage here. With what you want, not just what other people want. That 11th house Capricorn, it's funny, not funny, but like I feel such a strong, diligent energy when it comes to your community, when it comes to showing up for the task and not being thanked for it either. But with Cancer in the 5th house, it's okay to be seen. It's okay to very strongly, very passionately go full forward with your heart's desire, with your chest leading you. There's nothing wrong with that. And I think you're actually going to be very welcomed in doing that for yourself. Because it really, I'm really feeling that pull of like being the support for someone else and doing what you want to do for you. And being rewarded for it and having people recognize you for it. This reinvestment in your own life, it could be a hobby, it could be literally like in something very physical, like a household of some sort. But I feel like the investing, it could even be a true new investment, but I feel reinvesting. It's reinvesting in yourself, let's say it that way. It's going to come from your heart's desire. It's going to come from your heart's desire. Now, there is always a time when we're working with other people or we have other people in our life that we care about or live with or what have you, where, you know, sometimes we have to compromise and sometimes we do have to show up and place support, and there's always a time for that. But there's also always a time to do what we want to do. And lead with your heart. Lead with your chest out. Proud, confident, and full of just passion for the thing that you're wanting to do for you. Okay? Whew. Not gonna lie, guys, that took a lot out of me. I'm glad I did it because I enjoy it, but kind of took a lot out of me. But I hope that you guys really enjoyed it as well, and I hope you guys have an amazing week and an amazing night, and I will see you guys very soon, okay? Take care.